Hey guys, you probably aren't used to seeing the screen at all, but yeah, this screen is probably way different and weird, but it really is because I'm trying a new technique, and that's where I'll be naming certain cards, like the top 15, top 10, top 20 cards of all time. So first off, let's just get right into it. Standing at number 20, we have Metamorphosis. It is a normal spell card, and the effect reads: you get to tribute one monster, special summon one fusion monster from your deck with the same level as the tributed monster. Now, this card isn't as powerful as you think it would be, but, well, like, it is powerful, but it's not as powerful as you think it would be. Basically, it's a really, really, really big GOAT card. It was part of the GOAT control deck, for getting Millennium Eyes out there to control your opponent, to lock him out of everything. So yeah, but like, you can combo this card off of like Hextrude and get Dragoon of Red Eyes out there first turn if you really wanted to, and just let your opponent stand. On to number 19, we have Snatch Steal. Snatch Steal is a card where you basically get to take one of your opponent's monsters. It's a quick spell card, and during each of your opponent's standby phases, they gain 1,000 life points. Life points really don't matter in this game right now, but you just get to take control of your opponent's monster, and let them sit with nothing. So Boral Sword, you just take control of it. Construct, you just take control of it. You can't do anything to stop it necessarily, unless they have like some sort of spell negate on the field. Coming in as number 18, we have that Grasslick Screener. That Grasslick Screener, what this card does is, if you have more cards in your deck than your opponent does, send cards from the top of your deck to the graveyard until you have the same card as your opponent. So this card basically is the best mill card in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's a normal spell card, which makes it even better, so you don't have to set and reactivate. But yeah, this card is absolutely insane. If you let your opponent go first and they activate a Pot of Desires, it's a free mill 12. So they do that, do all their stuff. You basically get to mill 22 cards without them having to do anything. Coming in as number 17, we have Last Will. Last Will is a normal spell card, and its effect reads: if a monster on your side of the field is sent to the graveyard, you get to special summon one monster with 1500 or less from your deck during this turn. Then you get to shuffle your deck. So basically, this card is one of the best normal spell cards for special summoning. It's a Sangan on steroids. Basically, what it does, like I already said, is you get to special summon any 1500 or less deck monster from your deck. So, and it doesn't have to be your opponent destroying it or destroy a battle. So it's even worse. So basically, what happens is that you can combo this card in Altergeist, Salamangreat, anything like that. It gets really, really crazy. Yeah, this card is just absolutely insane. Coming in number 16, we have 3 Tactical Talents. 3 Tactical Talents is an absolutely broken card. I can't believe it's printing. It's going to come. It's not even at the OCG right now, but we know if it's printing. Basically, its effect reads: if your opponent activates a monster effect during your main phase, I can't remember if it's negate or not, but even then, it's like Ash or Nibiru. You get to do one of these effects. It's a Pot of Greed, a Change of Heart, or even better, a Confiscation / Forceful Sentry. I'm pretty sure it's Forceful Sentry. But yeah, it's just absolutely insane. And it's just, if your opponent ashes you or anything like that, it's just an absolutely broken card. Coming in number 15, we have Dragoon of Red Eyes. Now, Dragoon of Red Eyes is a card that has been recently printed in the OCG, and it's recently got limited to 1. And you'll learn why as I read it to you. It takes a Dark Magician. It's a fusion monster, obviously. It's a level 8 fusion dark monster. It takes Dark Magician and 1 Red Eyes B Dragon or 1 Dragon Effect monster. So basically, neither player can target this card with the card effects. Also can't be destroyed by card effects. During your main phase, you can't target it with, like, what I've been asking. Like, so, never mind about the Metamorphosis. But also, it can't be destroyed by card effects during your main phase. You can destroy one monster your opponent controls, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the monster's original attack. You can use this effect number of times per turn, up to the number of normal monsters you use for fusion material for the summon. So basically, if you use Red Eyes, Black Dragon, and Dark Magician, you get 2 pops and burn. And that may seem crazy enough, but it just keeps adding on. Konami is turning the meta for the worse. Once per turn, when the card or effect is activated, you can discard 1 card. So you get a graveyard effect as well if you discard the right card. Negate the activation if you do destroy it, and this card gains 1,000 attack. This card is already 3,000, and so it becomes a 4,000 attack beat stick on the field with 2 pops and a negate. So it just sits out there like it's the boss controlling everything. Number 14, we have Royal Oppression. Royal Oppression is either player can pay 800 life points to negate the special summon of a monster and or an effect that special summons of monsters and destroy it. You activate this during your opponent's turn, and basically they sit there watching you cry. Well, not you cry. You laugh while they cry, because basically they can't do anything. Especially in the new meta, they just sit there and they can't do anything. They're absolutely they just can't there. It's a continuous trap card, and yeah, there really isn't much else to say about this card. Coming in number 13, we have Soul Charge. Soul Charge is a normal spell card that target any number of monsters in your graveyard, special summon them, and if you do, you lose 1,000 life points for each monster, and it can't special summon by this effect. And you can't conduct your battle phase, but even then, it's a crazy card because you just sit there and they can't do anything. They just sit there and you special summon 7 monsters. Basically, if you're at 8,000, you activate this your first turn. You special summon monsters from your graveyard, or even if it's like in the middle of a game. And since life points don't matter in the new meta, you just sit there and let them like do all their shenanigans and basically pass turn on Boral Sword and Appaloosa. Yeah, that's how crazy this card is. Coming in and number 11, we have number 12, we have Last Turn. Last Turn, basically is one of the draw cards. It's a normal trap card. One of the weirdest arts ever. This card can only be activated during your opponent's turn when your life points are 1,000 points or less. So if you slow charge and then activate this card, it's pretty crazy. Select 1 monster on your side of the field and send all other cards on the field and in their hands to the graveyard. After that, this is both players, by the way. After that, your opponent selects and special summons 1 monster from their deck in face of attack position and attacks your selected monster. Any battle damage is treated as 0. The remaining monster who remains on the field is at the end phase of this turn wins the duel. Any other cases, it results in a draw. It's a big card. Basically, what it's saying is that if you have like a Dragoon of Red Eyes with the 5,000 attack out there, and you play this card, you just sit out there with the 5,000 attack, destroy all of your other cards, and wait until your opponent special summons their strongest monster from their deck, which isn't going to be a lot. It's probably going to be max 3,000, and they just have to attack your monster, and you take no damage, and then you win the duel. Yeah, that's basically this card, and it's really, really crazy. And it's not just you send your cards to the graveyard, your opponent also sends them to the graveyard, which makes it even worse. Even though it is a normal trap card, it really doesn't matter because you can combo a lot of crap off of it. But yeah. On to number 11, we have HARPIE'S Feather Duster. This card is Lightning Storm on steroids. It's a normal spell card, and you get to destroy all spells and traps your opponent controls. Lightning Storm is already a $200, $400 card because of its effect, to where if you control no face-up monsters, you get to destroy, like you get a Lightning Vortex, or you get to destroy all your opponent's spells and traps. So even though like that card's that expensive, this card is just that, but better, since there's no drawbacks whatsoever. Going on to number 10, we have Card of Safe Return. Card of Safe Return is when a monster is special summoned from your graveyard, you get to draw a card. Special summoning monsters from your graveyard is probably one of the most used effects in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like especially with Monster Reborn and some other cards like that. It just gets out over and over and over and over and over and over, and it's a continuous spell effect. So it's just a crazy card. Its anime effect reads that when a monster is special summoned from the graveyard, you get to draw 3 cards. Even worse than its eroded effects. So like it's just crazy card, and I'm glad that this card is banned because of that reason. So coming in at number 9, we have Vanity's Emptiness. So this is Royal Oppression, also kind of like on steroids, but basically neither player can special summon monsters, and if a card is sent from the deck or field to the graveyard, destroy this card. So even though it may seem crazy, I mean, you can activate this in the middle of your opponent's turn, and they can just send one, and it goes to the graveyard. Well, that actually benefits you in a way, because your opponent just wasted, they just send a deck from the graveyard to the card, even though they can't special summon anything, so they have to have something that activates in the graveyard to send from the deck to graveyard, or a Foolish Burial, so they have to play around this card, and then even if they do send it, it destroys it for the better of you. So if you activate this in the middle of their turn, it's kind of game over for them. Coming in at number 8, we have Confiscation. Now, Confiscation is you pay 1,000 life points, look at your opponent's hand, and select one card and discard it. Discarding cards and looking at your opponent's hand is absolutely insane in the meta, because you basically just get to do whatever the heck you want, and you get to look at their hand. So if they have something good in their hand, like a Nibiru or anything, because some decks are really vulnerable to Nibiru, such as Heroes, you just get to take it and rip it out of their hand, and you just have to pay 1,000 life points. It's a normal spell card, but yeah, it's just crazy. Coming at number 7, you probably guessed it, the Forceful Sentry. You get to look at your opponent's hand and select one and shuffle it. It's the same thing, but you don't pay any life points, but you shuffle it instead of sending it to the graveyard. I personally think this card is worse than the next card on this list, because the next one rips 2. But yeah, this card is banned because looking at your opponent's hand is absolutely crazy. Coming in at number 6, we have Delinquent Duo. You pay 1,000 life points, and you get to discard. Your opponent discards one random card, and if they have other cards in their hand, they get to discard one more card. So even if they don't have anything, you could activate this twice, and they have one monster in their hand, and basically you pass to them. So they have their neg 4, or even if you activate like a Forceful Sentry or Confiscation beforehand, you lose 3,000 life points, but that doesn't matter. Your opponent has one card in their hand, and it doesn't mean they barely can probably do no combos off of it, because it's a discard, so it's not a send, and it's not on the field beforehand, makes it even more powerful. And because it's discard, even though you don't get a look at it, it becomes even more powerful because you are ripping cards out of your hand, so they're going neg on their draw. So it's just a really powerful card. Number 5, we have Painful Choice. Painful Choice is a normal spell card, which you select 5 cards from your deck and show them to your opponent. Your opponent selects one card among them, and that card, and then add that card to your hand, and the remaining cards to graveyard. Milling and sending cards to graveyard, and you get to draw one and send the rest. It's pretty insane. It's just absolutely broken, because sending cards to the graveyard, almost every deck in Yu-Gi-Oh!, almost every meta deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! Has an effect that activates the graveyard. Cyber Dragons, you have Noxter. Basically, for Shadal's, any of the Shadal monsters, like Windy, or Winda, or whatever it is. And, like, every deck has that card, and it's just crazy, because it's because you're milling 5, you're dry. It's almost a +3 for you. It's actually +1, but it's just still crazy. So yeah, I'm glad this card is banned as well, but yeah, this card's crazy. Coming in at number 4, we have Chicken Game. It's a field spell card, and basically whoever has lower life points, they take no damage. Once you return during the main phase, the turn who the turn player can pay 1,000 life points and activate one of these effects. You get to draw a card, destroy this card, or your opponent gains 1,000 life points. Neither player can activate cards or effects in the monster activation. So you can give your opponents life points to where they can't battle you, like you don't take any damage, or you can draw a card, or your opponent can choose to destroy this card, but even then you're already leaving your opponent in the gutter because you have a +1, or you have no battle damage this turn. So it's already crazy. Yeah, there's really nothing else about it. It's a field spell card like I mentioned earlier. Going on to number 3, Pot of Greed. This card allows you to add the top 2 cards of your deck, add them to your hand, and then you get to shuffle your deck. Just kidding, it's just draw 2 cards. Yeah, this card is crazy. It's a big anime card. There really isn't much to say about it. It's the Playboy of all Yu-Gi-Oh! It's the biggest icon of Yu-Gi-Oh! Of all time, even though it's banned. Going on to number 2 is 6 Cents. 6 Cents is a card where it's a normal trap card where you declare 2 numbers from 1 to 6, then your opponent rolls a 6-sided die, and if the result is one of those numbers declared, you get to draw that many cards. Otherwise, you get to send cards, you get to send the rolled number to the graveyard from the top of your deck. So basically, you either get to draw, you can choose 5 or 6, you draw 5 or 6 if they roll it. Even if they don't, you get to mill the top cards from your deck's graveyard, which is already crazy enough. And like, since all meta decks have like cards that activate in the graveyard, you're getting even more pluses. And I think this card is better than Pot of Greed because you already are just getting tons and tons and tons and tons of activated effects in your graveyard. But yeah, this card is absolutely insane. And coming in at number 1, we have LARVAE Moth. See, LARVAE Moth it can't be normal summoned or set. This card can only be special summoned by attributing Pedant Moth on the second turn after Pedant Moth has been equipped with Cocoon of Evolution. This card is absolutely broken. And it's a card that should be banned, but it's not banned. Just kidding. Number 1 card is, you guys have already guessed it. It's Graceful Charity. You get to draw 3 cards, discard 2 cards. This card is absolutely insane in the meta. It is basically, you just draw 3 of your cards, and then you discard 2 cards from your hand. It's not draw 3 of the cards that you drew, you get to discard 2. You got to discard hand. So any effects that activate in the graveyard, like Citadel, or anything like that, like any Shaddoll monster, you're going +5 almost, because of that effect. It's an absolutely insane effect, especially in the meta. And yeah, that's really it. Some honorable mentions I should put in. Heavy Storm is up there. Change of Heart, Maxi. I should have put Maxi in there, but I decided not to. I think it should have been for Metamorphosis, but my brain wasn't thinking. Firewall Dragon, Cyberstein, Lightning Storm, Heavy Storm, Regeki, Monster Reborn, Spellbook of Judgment, Solemn Judgment, and Firewall Dragon. Those are all the honorable mentions I have. Yeah, that's really it for this video. If you really enjoyed this video and want me to do another one, I know I'm probably going to do 2 more, definitely. But yeah, it was pretty fun doing it. And yeah, if you liked this content, please like and subscribe. If you have any deck profiles you want me to do, or things like this you want me to do, please leave a comment down below on like your favorite deck or something, and school me with it. Like teach me how to run it, because I have no clue how to run most decks, according to some of my videos. So yeah, thanks for watching.